Let's find out what the outlook is from KRBL. Remember, there have been the curbs on Basmati exports. Let's understand the implications from the CFO of the company, Ashish Jain, who's now joining in. Good to have you on board. And given that imposition of a $1,200 per ton minimum export price on Basmati rice shipments, given that your company has exported largely on Basmati in the Basmati segment, what is going to be the short-term and the long-term implication?
Yeah, so I'll just answer that from a KRBL perspective. So as you know, we focus on branded packaged consumer packs from our export perspective. Our average is anyway above the minimum number that the government has said. So I do see some impact to the extent of some large packs that we export, but overall the impact on us is very limited. That is number one. Number two, we are really towards the fag end of the season. So Basmati, as you know, is harvested in the Kharif season, which is October to December. So at this time of the year, the stocks anyway are depleted, right? So therefore, it's end of the season. And also this announcement, I understand, is valid only till October 15th. So if at all, there is an impact, it'll be very limited. However, for overall Basmati export industry, I do see an impact because if you look at government data, the average realization per ton for, let's say, the month of June was around 1100 or so. Even in the past few months, it's been around $1,100 per ton. So for the bulk export industry, I do see an impact, but not so much for our company.
Real motive or the objective behind getting this tax is largely because government wants the rice prices or grain prices to come down. If that is not achieved in 6 months or in 8 months, do you think this entire issue could extend itself well up to next year?
Well, I agree with you. I think that's broadly the strategy that the government is pursuing. In this specific case, if you read, various material that's been published around this, it does say that, the average realization for Basmati export, what the government has noticed, ranges from as low as $350, $360 per ton to about $1,200 per ton. So I think they probably felt that, that is too wide a range for Basmati to be exported in, and therefore they put a minimum cap. But I agree with you. I mean, the broad direction is to control rice prices.
MSP prices this year, I mean, in general, whether it is for rice, whether it is for wheat, do you think there would be a significant uptick in MSP?
See, if you look at the MSP last rounds, that anyway was a 7% increase over the previous year. So, I mean, the government has sort of played its part in terms of assuring a return to the farmer. In terms of prices, very difficult to tell which direction they're going to go.
Could you also update us with the industry buffer levels right now, especially for Basmati? Where do they stand?
Yeah. So, this is really the fag end of the season. In Basmati industry, the crop is harvested, like I said, between October to December. The stocks are at peak at the end of December, and then they start depleting as domestic consumption continues, as well as rice exports happen. So overall, while the industry per se does not measure the total quantum of stock available, but usually at this time of the year, they're at a low point.
Ashish, the other thing that I wanted to understand was pricing as well, because as per our channel checks, global rice prices have already surged up 20 to 30% over the last just 1 month as well. What kind of demand are you seeing from regions like Europe as well as the Gulf countries? And is there hoarding there?
See, we've not, I mean, let me talk about Gulf because that's a major market for us. So we've not come across any instances of hoarding. I think the price impact to my mind is largely supply led. And for that, let's look at the key markets for exports. So India, as you know, is the largest rice exporter. Then certain other countries like Thailand and Vietnam are again large exporters. And those two countries have been bracing the impact of El Nino in their area. And I think the market is adjusting for the fact that those climatic factors may affect the total production in those countries, and which is what has led to the rice prices inching up. And the government of India, to my mind, is also responding to this, that given the high realization, unless checked, the exports may rise, leading to a potential shortage in India. Although if you look at the current buffer stocks that the government of India maintains through FCI, etc., there is no cause for alarm.
Okay. Give us a view on the domestic demand. How have the order inquiries been from the festive season? What kind of incremental growth are you foreseeing for your domestic business?
Yeah. Yeah. So, if you look at our own performance, including in the quarter that just went by, the domestic demand continues to be strong. We've seen a couple of things. One is longer term post COVID. There is certainly hygiene is really top of the consumer's mind. So, the shift from loose to package, which was anyway happening, we've seen a slight acceleration there. If I talk about KRBL, we are anyway taking several initiatives, including increasing distribution reach of our products. Also, we've accelerated our presence in the non-Basmati industry. So for KRBL as a company, overall domestic demand continues to be strong.
All right, thanks so much for joining in and giving us that view. So clearly the management of KRBL saying that as of now, the impact with respect to the curbs on the Basmati exports will be limited for KRBL. 390 is where the stock is at. We'll